Howdy tubers, welcome back to the Zach Life. I see that shadow of the camera's right in my face. So on this episode we're back in the bedroom, and as I said on the last video, my goal moving forward is to make this thing usable as quickly as possible. I don't have to have the cabinets in the front to go camping in it, but I do need a bed in it. So I was going to shoot a video about tape and bedding, and I shot a bunch of video and I was in there trying to put one together, and I ultimately just gave up. The reason is this room's so small, you've got to set the camera right in this corner and then get over in that corner to see what, to get a vantage point. This is as zoomed as far out as I can get you. But anyway, let's paint this, and then I probably won't see you for a few days. We'll do a bunch of other stuff, and I'm going to get this other tape and bedded, get the other side painted, and when I catch you back, we'll have this thing all primed. So I'm just using the Kiehl's water-based primer. So I got all the screws and all the the sheetrock mud stuff over all the imperfections. Anyway, I got that done. I got it primed. It's in there drying right now. So my next step is to do the door. Probably start working on the cabinets and stuff in the back. Like I said, I'm going to try to get the bedroom finished 100% before I move forward. And I need a workbench, and I need something that's small that'll fit in there. I don't have much room. It's too big a pain to come back in the shop from out there, and I might drive this out of town and go work on it somewhere else. I mean, what else better is there to do than work on your vacation? But anyway, I want to throw together out of the old, these are like the sawhorse things that I painted the skin on. I'm going to cut them up and build me a little workbench that my table saw will sit on, that I can use like an extension of my table saw. Let's see how long this takes me. That ain't gonna focus. Oh gee whiz. Twelve and a half minutes. So here's my little table. I can put the saw blade all the way down on my table saw, and it works as part of the table. This is a 26 and a half inch wide opening, and I wanted to put a 26-inch door. They don't exist, and I got a 24. So the face of this 2x4 is slick and pretty smooth, and I worked really hard to get it perfectly straight. I ran it through a jointer. I worked very hard to get it parallel and straight and perpendicular to the floor in all directions. And so I should be able just to screw the door directly to this, and the door be right. Now what I'm going to do is I've got some like high grade, whatever you call it, pine boards that I'm going to use as trim. And I've got some 1.5 by 3/4 boards, and I'm going to run one board down here. I'm actually going to attach the door to it first and then bring it in here and screw it into the wall. And if it does need to move, believe it or not, it's one is today? February the 5th, and the air conditioner's running, and the day after tomorrow it's supposed to be like 10. So anyway, I'm going to attach that board to the door so I can bring it in here and then screw it to the wall, and if I need to shim it, I can. So I'm going to have a nice piece of exposed pine board, and then I'm going to take and build also out of the same kind of board but wider, 2 pieces of trim with a miter in it, because this is, you know, this wall changes direction here, and so I'll have like a 2-piece trim with a kind of a crook in the middle of it, you know, about this wide, and that'll look really good. Now over here, since my door is narrow, I've got to space this out by about 2 inches. And what I'm planning on doing is taking the same trim looking piece and putting over the outside of my of the piece I have to add on here. And then I want to take this board, this 2x4, which is just a rough cut 2x4, and I want to sand it down and wood fill it so that it looks quality of the wall. And of course, you know, you're only going to see this much of it. So we'll have a trim here, exposed 2x4, and then in the corner I want to have a relatively large, relatively speaking, piece of corner trim. I'm actually going to cut off the top and then put the door in upside down so that the door handle ends up roughly about 37 inches or something. Here in several clips, my camera's out of focus, and it's a DSLR that's got an actual mechanical focus on it, and it's supposed to be automatic. It's controlled electrically, and somehow or another the autofocus got turned off, so the camera's out of focus, and you can't tell by looking in the screen on the camera. It's too small. So I know some of your carpenters are fixing to make fun of me, but I got these hinges that you don't have to router out the groove in the door. I kind of think they look cool. So I'm going to go ahead and screw this to the door hinges with like 1 screw per hinge, and then the other couple of holes I'll run screws that go all the way through this board and into the 2x4 back of the wall. Now I want this to go all the way to the floor, even though there'll be 3/4 of an inch gap or so between the bottom of the door and the floor, because we're going to put hardwood. I want the hardwood to go around this, not this go on top of the hardwood. And also I need a small gap at the top, and whatever this gap here between the top of this board and the top of the door is how much gap will be between the door and the door frame, which is probably like 1/8 of an inch, I would say, maybe 3/16. Now, as I said, I think I'll be able just to screw this in here and it'll be straight. And I'm just going to do that. I'm just going to put a screw in the top and then back up and see what it looks like. Now the door's trying to swing shut, but that's because the whole coach is leaning that way 1 degree. It's not because the door isn't level with the interior here. We'll go ahead and do this piece first. So this piece will go It looks good. The only problem I see is the door frame must be twisted a little bit. When it's flush here at the top, it's sticking out down there about 3/16. It'll probably be mostly alleviated when there's a a stop on the back of it. So when you push it shut, you actually push it and it latches. It should push out just a little bit on this. It's not bad. So I'm not doing trim yet. I'm going to get all the cabinets and stuff done, and of course paint the walls before I do the trim. But I am going to put one piece up just to kind of give you an idea of what I've got going. So we'll have this that runs all along the ceiling. We've got this piece here. Now this top piece is narrower than the side piece, so I'm going to have sort of a little bit of leftover, if you would, right here on this side piece. Will have to be cut off at the top. I think I will go ahead and put this very top piece in. I think probably I'll rip these sideboards down, golly, to the same width as this. On this board here, I'm going to rip it down, to about this wide, and then I'm going to put you call that a miter? This will be cut at an angle, and it's going to have another narrow piece down here. So there's actually, this angle will be in the trim. I think it'll look really good. And then with this running all along the top. This is one of those things that I really didn't understand. I'm not a carpenter at all. And it took me a lot of sort of thinking of how to put a door in a less than 2-inch wide wall, have it work good, and to have it be able to dress it out with trim where you don't have a bunch of ragged edges. And I think this will work great. So the only thing I'm going to do on the rest of this video, just kind of at the end here, is I'm going to paint all this. And the paint up color I've got is it's almost white, but it's got a slight gray blue hue to it. Like it's probably really close to this primer. And then I'm going to paint, of course, after it's completely finished, I'm going to paint all this trim a gloss white. And I think it'll be a slight color difference and a gloss difference, a sheen difference that will sort of make it stand out. I think it'll look really good, with a piece that runs down the middle, sort of to split the room. I think it'll look great. And as I said, I'm going to do a similar thing, not exactly the same, but a similar thing to the front of the coach. And I'm excited how that's going to look. I appreciate you watching. I want to end the video. If you want to watch me painting it, it's after this. Hit the like, share, and subscribe button, bell. I got tongue tied there. And we'll catch you on the next one.